It is time for confessions with real stories from a real path, accompanied by a real God in an unreal and twisted world. Well, that's how I see it, at least. My name is Emmanuel, and I share from my personal path with God. And you are welcome to join me. In the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, may it be done exactly the way you want it, Lord. I love you. Imagine that you have 12 books. They're all spread in front of you on a desk, and you read a little bit of each of them, one by one. One day, you read a few sentences from book number 1. And then, perhaps you go make dinner, you do some practical stuff. And then you get to read a few sentences from book number 2. And it continues on like that to book 3, book 4, book 5, and book 6. All the way until you've gone through all 12 of them. But just a little hint in each, a few sentences, perhaps the headline, or even at times just one single word. That would be quite confusing, but still, you would get sense, you would get information, and you would grow by it. And if you did that and repeated it when you'd gone through all the 12 books, you came back again to book number 1. Perhaps a week had passed, perhaps several weeks, but you're back to book number 1, and you get to continue where you left off. A few more sentences, and it builds on what you read the last time. Perhaps you've forgotten what you read the last time because time passes by and life happens. But still, as you read those new sentences, you remember, I remember what I read last time. Now this makes sense. And so it builds. You go make dinner, and later on, you get to read a little bit in book number 2. And this is exactly the way it seems that God is revealing things to us. He's not revealing everything at once. He's not sticking to one topic at a time. In fact, it is as if he's weaving with many different threads. And we get one little bit at the time. And we get a lot of other different bits until we get back to the track of book number 1 and get the next bit. And we have forgotten perhaps the last bit. But as we get the continuum, as we get the next step, we suddenly remember, I add that to what I had last time in this book, and it makes sense. I don't know if you have noticed this, but this is exactly the way that God is working in my life, at least. Recently, God showed me something. He answered a request that I came to him with interrupting me and pointing to some colors that I've been using. I had been designing and focusing on authority, and I had chosen a certain color for that. And as I was bringing this important topic to him, well, very important in my eyes, he interrupted me and started talking about this color. Like, this color that you chose, that was really good. You did well with that. And I was like, God, what are you doing? I mean, I'm bringing this important topic to you and you are interrupting me with focusing on colors. Aren't you supposed to stay focused? And then later on the same day, I brought the same topic because it was on my mind. And once again, he interrupted me by focusing on the colors. It was as if he said, that color, you don't like it, but you still chose it. And I'm very proud of you for that. That was a really good thing. And I was like, God. But I got it. I was bringing a problem to him, and he was bringing a solution to me. That quality of authority and the color and everything that goes with it was the solution. It was what I needed to focus on to see the outcome that I was desiring. And that was like a few sentences in a book. I chewed on it and I let it work in me, and I got it. But then he started showing me a little bit in book number 2, and I made dinner, and book number 3, and days passed, and perhaps a week or 2, I don't know. But as I got something today, there was another bit in this book. I'd completely forgotten the last bit. Suddenly God showed me that I had been put in a situation where I had to grow my authority and my leadership skills, which was absolutely something I did not desire. I did not want this, and it was not something I was seeking. So I kind of had to be forced into it, like an unfortunate situation where I had to. And as I got that revelation, it's just, a small piece. I understood it, and it was a bigger picture, but I'm not going to share all of that because it involves more people than me. But as I saw that, I remembered the last sentences in that book. Authority and the color and the things that he'd worked on a week or 2 ago. I'd completely forgotten about it, but here it was again. And I knew that it was connected, and it makes sense, and it continued that same stream, like my metaphor, the book. But I knew that this is something that God is working with me. He's building me up on this. He's really putting this on the agenda. And this is definitely how I do believe he is working with all of us. He is weaving us. He is molding us. And it's not just on one topic at the time. It is infiltrated, one here and one there. And the beauty of it is that when he continues to the next topic, those old ones, they are forgotten, but just by our conscious mind, because they stay in our subconscious and unconscious like seeds, working in the hidden and producing results. As long as we have faith and we feed it with our agreement and our desire to do what you, God, want in our life and start in our life, then it is growing. And then suddenly, when we least expect it, we're back, as if we've gone into this spiral, and we're back, and we see yet another aspect of this same thing. I jumped, oh, you're working on this. That's what I'm about to learn and growing. Okay, I get it. And so my next impulse was, okay, what can I do? I want to do something. I want to use my muscles. I want to, be active and just push this through and really see a change. That's what we like, isn't it? And I think I asked God, I brought it up like 3 times because I'd forgotten that I already asked. I was just so eager. And each time he interrupted by one word, and that word was wait. Isn't that what we love to hear, huh? But waiting is probably exactly what is needed, because that is what we do. When we've sown a seed, we have to wait. And while we're waiting, what better isn't there to do to go focus on some other seed? So I see the beauty of how He is working. And if you can recognize this in your life, then do as me. Let's do it right now. Just say, thank you, God, that you are weaving us, you are molding us and creating us after your image. And you are doing it in such a delicate, beautiful way where we get to agree, we get to accept, we get to choose, but then again, we get to forget so that our deeper levels can be worked on without us interfering with our, limited minds. So thank you, God, for doing that, and thank you for molding us perfectly the way that you want us to be. Because we don't see, we don't know, we don't have the full picture, but you do. So by that, I hope that you are blessed, and I hope that you get to grow on your weakest spots. In the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, may it indeed be so. Be blessed.